Hey y'all, this is AL Thick Madame, and this is the recap for Pose. So, this episode started off with Blanca asleep in the middle of the night, and apparently, this is New York during the time of the year where it is the hottest, and she has all kinds of fans in every single window. Everything is going, and even in the middle of the night, it is very miserable heat wise. So, she's tossing and turning. And then she's awakened out of her sleep by a phone call, which turns out to be a phone call that someone called to let her know that her business had gone up in flames. So I'm speculating that Frederica or one of her family members or whoever she paid off ended up getting Blanca out of that building by burning it down. So she went to basically assess the damage and just be there, and she was just inside of the shop that's now ashes. And Frederica stopped by and tried to act as if she was just so distraught. Oh my gosh, I was heading out of town to go on vacation for the summer and I got a phone call. And Blanca was like, what are you doing here? And I don't know why, but Blanca keeps failing to remember that Blanca is somebody who's just renting, and she does not own that building. Frederica's name is on the deed. So anyway, nothing could be salvaged. It was completely burned down. Of course, Blanca thinks it's arson, and I'm pretty sure it is. And Frederica's trying to act as if she don't know what's going on, but at the same time, she was just like, it was nice knowing you. And apparently Blanca didn't know that she needed to get insurance in order to cover all her stuff that had been, that actually been burned up and all that stuff. So she put all her money into that place, and she has nothing to show for it because she didn't get insurance. So of course, Frederica, like I said, we already know that she's done this, despite the fact that, we don't have any evidence, but we all know that she did it. So she has set up there like double the insurance because she knew, she knew something like this could happen. Then she gonna read talking about, she can't wait until like a year from now. She's gonna triple the rent, and she's just doing the most. So anyway, she went on by her business, y'all. So anyway, Electra is at work, and she's talking to one of the ladies, and she was like, I don't understand what's going on. Apparently, this is the time of year where all of their, clients are going out of town for their vacation. A lot of people take their vacation in August. And, she was just like, I don't understand. But she has one client that's left, and he actually is in the room, and she had forgotten about him. And he's another one of those that likes weird stuff. So he's in this whole, latex body thing, and he likes to suffocate a little bit, body-wise, and just be in complete darkness, silence, and he has no problem paying the big bucks for that. So since she'd forgotten about him, she went to check on him, and he was like, oh, I thought everybody was gone. I was kind of hoping that everybody forgot about me. Like, he is just very off. Anyway, she was like, well, why aren't you going like everybody else? Everybody else leaves and they go to their beach homes and all this other stuff. And, he was like, well, I have a beach house, but I don't really care about all that stuff. I should go, but I just don't care. I just want to be by myself. And so, she heard beach house, so she was like, oh, okay. So, because she was like, I don't understand. Don't you have somewhere to be? Don't you work on Wall Street? So that's how she ended up getting his, business as far as that's concerned. Y'all, so anyway, Blanca summons Lulu, Electra, Angel, and I think that's it, to come over and kind of, be with her while she is in her feelings about what has happened to her shop, because that was her business. And it's still super hot. It's daytime now, so it's definitely hot. It's hot everywhere. No matter where you go, everybody's apartment is burning up hot, whether you have central heating air or not. Everybody's just burning up. And so my first thought when I saw Electra over there, I was like, girl, what you doing over there? Don't you have, I'm pretty sure you should have central heating and air or air conditioner or something. And Lulu was like, I don't understand why you over here. She said exactly what I said. And so she was like, oh, well, you know, it starts to smell when when it gets to a certain temperature. So it was like, smell? What do you mean? Y'all, of course, Blanca knew about what was going on, and it's that guy who's decomposing in the house. So when it gets hot, you start to smell him. So she has pine air fresheners hanging up all in that area that his body is in, and it's just too much, y'all. I can't. So anyway, somebody was like, well, maybe we should go to the beach. And I was like, what? That's a good idea. So eventually they went and met up at Electra's house and, you know, got themselves together. And of course, y'all know how Blanca dresses. And Electra was not here for it. It was like, no, I'll let you borrow some of mine. And it got to the point where everybody was like, yeah, why don't you just get some of hers? She had to set it off and was like, I'm not like y'all. I don't want to be exposed. And, you know, she just ain't here for all that. And it's crazy because as pretty as Lulu is, Lulu was very self-conscious about herself. And she was like, you know, it's different when you're in the dark dancing for people, because y'all know she's a stripper. She said it's different. And she had on a bathing suit with like a cover up and everything and was still insecure. And I was like, girl, what in the world? And so she's very afraid of people clocking her. And she was like, I don't know if this is a good idea. And I was just like, gosh, it's just too much. But, you know, Blanca was just like, you know, she in her feelings about her shop, but she's just like, I don't have time for it. I don't want to hear all of that or whatever. So they end up hitting the road. Y'all, Electra can't drive, and later on we find out why. But she has this Buick, oh gosh, is it a LeSabre? It's a Buick, y'all, but at the time that was one of those luxury cars. So she's driving. I was like, she can't drive. And I mean, maybe they were trying to play into how they say a lot of, and if not most, New Yorkers don't know how to drive. So they're driving to this beach that's like an hour away from New York, and on the way they're of course listening to music, getting their lives. So anyway, they pull up to the beach house, and it's a really, really, really humongous house. Y'all, tell me why Blanca's client is set up there and he's there. And so she was laying down what the house rules are, which is basically you can have access to everything except the garage. And so they were like, what's wrong with going in the garage? What's in there? And then they go to the next scene and they show the guy, her client, in this cage, in his full body latex suit, blindfolded, and he has these soundproof, you know, earplugs on, or earmuffs on. And they all crowd around him like, really? Like, are you all right? You know, is he gonna be okay? And so she was like, he's all right. He can't hear us right now or whatever. Trust me, he all right. And so they ended up making everybody leave. So Blanca was like, can I speak to you alone? Ended up talking to her, was like, we don't need another situation like what happened before. And so she was like, trust me, it's not gonna be like that. Ended up kind of trying to help ease her mind by ending up taking the blindfold off of that guy and taking the ear muffs off. No, excuse me, my eyes are very sensitive and eyelashes just be falling in, it just hurts my soul. Gotta get it out. But anyway, and she was, you know, she ended up introducing Blanca to the guy and, you know, asked him, was he comfortable? And he was like, yeah, you can come back and get me tomorrow, check on me tomorrow. And so Blanca was like, nah, we'll come back in a few hours. Because if he had it his way, you could just leave him alone forever and then come back the day after forever ends. It's like, I don't understand. And I was just the whole time, I'm sitting there like, why is this man paying somebody to leave him literally alone? And then every now and again come back and like berate him. And it's like, why? Y'all, I just can't. So anyway, they end up leaving and going to the beach. So they went to the beach and they are enjoying themselves and they're just sunbathing at this point. But then Blanca was like, all right, y'all, let's dip our toes in. And everybody's like, nah. And Lulu off rip was just like, I just got my edges straightened. I ain't doing nothing. I ain't touching no water. Electra was like, nah. I ain't got time, and the sharks would love all this dark chocolate. I am too sweet for that. And Angel was like, you know, I ain't gonna lie to y'all. I'm just gonna let y'all know right now, I'm afraid of water and I ain't got time for it. And so it got to a point where she was able to finally convince her to go out. And so she was like, well, if you promise not to let my hand go, then I'll get in the water. And so, you know, she promised her. Y'all, tell me why Angel starts yelling because Blanca is in the water drowning. And I'm just like, girl, what in the world happened all of a sudden? Lord have mercy. Somebody started blowing the whistle. And the lifeguard, he hopped down off the little thing and he ended up running to the water. He pulled her out of the water. And he literally has to perform CPR on her because water is all in her air passageway. Finally gets the water out. And, you know, he was looking at her like, hey, how you doing? Welcome back or whatever. Like with a big, nice smile. I'm like, oh. And I saw the handwriting on the wall, but we gonna see where they go. So anyway, y'all, I've noticed that just about, if not almost every single episode, if not every episode, they have moments where they reminisce about Candy or they wish she was there and all the other stuff. And they did that a lot throughout this episode. So when they came back from the beach, they ended up checking on the client. And he was fine and y'all, I can't. So anyway, they ended up going out to dinner. And so at first, you know, even Angel was just like, what? Do you think we need to do that? It's like she was worried about getting clocked and being out there, and her and Lulu, and I was just like, oh my gosh, y'all are beautiful. It doesn't matter. Y'all should be able to go out and eat without somebody trying y'all. Like, if y'all ain't breaking the law, nobody should care about what y'all doing. So they went to this upper class looking type of place or whatever, this bougie place. And I already knew something was gonna go down. So they went up in there. And it's all kinds of expensive food. And Electra was like, I don't care what y'all get. It's all on me. Cool. So everybody ordering what they want. They having a good time. They laughing. Y'all, the sun go down. They're still in there laughing, having a good time, drinking up. So Blanca has to go to the bathroom because she done got a little tipsy. So she excuses herself and goes to the bathroom. The rest of the ladies are at the table still enjoying themselves. Man, tell me why this random woman walks up on them and was like, excuse me. I am a regular here, and I just want to say that I can't really enjoy myself. And they looking like, okay, so what is it that we can do to help you with that? And she basically was trying to say that they are loud and disturbing her and her friends, and she's there with her friends, and they can't relax because they so loud. Lord, why did she say that? Lulu off rip was like, Electra, don't do it. Because I was like, no. I was like, no. So Electra had to stand up on her. Y'all know how tall Electra is. Electra stood up on that heifer and started reading. She read that heifer down, and then she had to take a pause before she really went in and basically summoned for her drink, and somebody ended up giving her chalice. That's what I want to call it. Ended up giving her chalice so she can get hydrated, so her throat can make sure she can make sure her throat is lubricated, so she can continue to read this heifer. She read that heifer down. She said something about how she had an abortion and all this other stuff. She read that woman down. I really wish I could just insert the clip so y'all could just see it and just be like, okay, she read that heifer. That heifer could say nothing. But before she even got read like that, she clocked them right. She did clock them, and she tried to read them talking about, I work in the city, and I know a man. When I see one, I know a man who is dressing like a man. And I mean, was trying to read. Oh gosh, why she do that? Anyway, that situation went down, and the heifer went back to where she went went back to where she came from after she got read. So anyway, I'm thinking a whole nother situation gonna pop off because Blanca went to the bathroom. That's not what happened. What happened was she came out of the bathroom, and she noticed that this guy was standing and talking on the phone. And it was the guy who saved her, you know, lifeguard Adrian. So she ends up tapping him on his back, and he turned around and he was like, I'm gonna have to call you back. And so they're talking, and it gets to a point where he was like, you know, I'd like to, you know, go out for a walk on the beach. And so she, you know, accepts. So she gets back to the table, and Lulu was like, girl, you'll never guess what happened or whatever. So she was like, oh, well, what happened? She was like, don't worry about it or whatever. So end up telling them what happened. And they were like, what? I know you said no, right? And so she was like, no, I said yes. So Elektra said it all the way off, which I'm here for, because y'all know how it goes. She was like, you mustn't do that. Why would you do such a thing? Why would you agree to go out with him? You know how they get, which is true. This is real life situations that happen. They'll sit up there, get with you, and then get mad and crazy because they are fearful of what's going to happen if somebody finds out that they've been with someone like them. And it's like, y'all, I can't. It just hurts my soul because in most cases, these guys know exactly what they're getting into. They know exactly what is going on before they step foot and say, hey, how you doing to these people. So I'm like, why y'all want to sit up here and act like you don't know what's going on when you do? So anyway, so she was like, I don't care what y'all talking about. I'm going to go and meet up with him. You only live once. And she's, you know, already, you know, of course she's in her feelings about what happened to her shop. So she's trying to have fun. So they were like, well, if you're going to do this, well, this is what you're going to have to do. Well, wait a minute. First, I got to tell y'all exactly what she said, which is true. What Blanca said. Elektra. She said, you can't trust a man when the sun goes down. That's sad to say, but a lot of these men do that. They'll sit up there and act like they don't know what the situation is. Even if they sit up there and tell them what it is, they'll have their fun with them and then be like, oh, let me kill them. I have regret. This shouldn't have happened. And try to make it seem like they got tricked. So I'm just like, So anyway, man, they loaded her up with all kinds of arsenal. Gave her a switchblade knife, a taser, like 3 or 4 different things. I was like, oh my gosh. So, you know, she ready just in case something do pop off. Y'all, anyway, so she's walking on the beach with him. They're having a good time. And he mentioned something about, you know, he's never kissed lips that, you know, feel like that or look like that before. And so, you know, they're having a normal conversation. And Blanca hasn't said anything yet about, you know, who she is. And so she's about to. And he was like, she said something about her community, our community, my community, and, you know, she was very, 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 very vague. And so it just got to a point where he was like, Blanca, I already know. And I was just like, oh, wait a minute now, wait a minute. And he ain't no ugly guy either. I was like, wait a minute, you look a little cute, sir. You look a little handsome. Y'all, he sat up there and asked her for a kiss. And she was like, didn't you already get one of those earlier? And he was like, no, I'm talking about a real kiss. So they ended up making out for the rest of the night. And it was morning time. It was morning. And they walked the night away. It happened. Now they can't turn back the hands of time. I don't know why I did it. But anyway. So she is on cloud 9. She's walking back to the house, and Elektra, Lulu, and Angel stood up all night worried about her, like for real legit worried about her. Elektra said it all. Where have you been? We have been worried sick about you all night. We were 5 minutes from calling the police. I was like, oh my God, that episode the popo. Like, no, you did not have to set it off like that. Like, she was dead serious. Like, she was setting it off the whole time before she realized what was going on. Like, everybody else was worried. She was just setting it off. Where is she? She should have been back by now. Went all the way off. But anyway. So, she showed up, ended up telling them what happened. And so, she was like, well, did you tell him? Y'all, this heifer said, I didn't have to. And it literally had a teacup in her hand and was like, I was like, yeah. Oh my gosh. I felt like I was in the room with them, like sharing the kiki. So I was like, yes, you better set it off. So anyway, y'all, they're about to go back home. So Electra let her client out, and he was like, well, I thought you'd forgotten all about me, and which was fine, and that you had gone back to New York and nobody was gonna find me until like next week. And I was just sitting up there like, what is wrong with you? But anyway, she was reading him and was like, do you know you have a wonderful life? Basically said he has a good life, and why would you want to sit up there and you're choosing to be lonely when a lot of us don't have the choice. We don't have a choice but to be lonely. Y'all, I was tired of my spirit. So anyway, y'all, they are on their way back, driving back, and the song came on. Oh my gosh, what is this song? I forgot what the name of the song was. But anyway, y'all, they're dancing, within, the confines of the car, having fun, singing, and like Electra is driving and like really getting her life. Y'all, come to find out, this heifer ain't got no license. She bought a fake one so she could get the car. Like, she just, y'all, I can't. I was just like, girl, they were like, well, no wonder you're a horrible driver, because some guy rolled by and flicked the bird at her. It was like, you're a terrible driver. Saying something about her driving was trash. And kind of find out she can't drive because she trash at driving because she can't drive. Anyway, so they're having a moment, and she sees Candy in the back seat between Lulu and Angel. And so, y'all know how she do. She lived for singing and all this other stuff. So she was in the back kicking a leg up and singing right along with her. And they were like interacting with one another, and then she disappeared. And she looked back, and I was just like, oh. And see, it was crazy to find out that she was so focused on making sure everything else with the funeral went off without a hitch that she never went up to her casket to say goodbye. So I was like, wow. She said that was really her only regret. She has no regrets, but that was her only regret. So I was like, wow, that's messed up, y'all. So anyway, they got home, and Blanca is at her house, and Angel came by, and she was like, kind of trying to tease her and play with her a little bit about the guy, Adrian. And so she was like, but he probably ain't even gonna call me. I'm not even gonna worry about that. And that's how it's sad, but that's how you gotta be when it comes to stuff like that. You can't sit up there and get your hopes up. And I know, because I've got my hopes up about stuff and it don't pan out. So she was basically not getting her hopes up. And so she was like, don't be like that, he might call you. So she was like, she said, well, can you spend the night with me tonight? So she was like, yeah. So she was like, well, let me call Poppy and let him know not to be expecting me. So she was like, okay. So she went in the other room to go get on the phone, and that's when she notices there's a message. And so she said something about there's a message. She was like, what? So she was like, oh, that probably ain't nothing but a bill collector. And she played a message, and it's Adrian. He'd have set it off. He was like, hi, this is Adrian. I know you're not home yet, but I just wanted to call. I hope you make it home. So he said it all the way off. So, oh my gosh, Angel was like, oh, he sounds so good. I was like, girl, if you don't get somewhere and sit down. So anyway, so she was like, you gonna spend the night, but I'm gonna need for you to go in another room, go in a closet or something, because I'm about to be on this phone for a very long time. And she waited till she got completely out of the room, off down the hall and everything else, and called that man back, and he answered the phone. So I'm here for it. I'm happy for Blanca. And she already expressed that whether or not the situation pans out to be anything worthy of whatever type of situationship, that she's here for it. And despite everything that happened with her shop, that this was something that was a welcome experience for her, and she's glad, and she hasn't had that feeling in a while. So I'm happy for her. Anyway, y'all, I hope y'all enjoyed this little bit of review, recap, all that good stuff in between. Like this if you want to, subscribe if you want to. Anyway, you have a good one, and I'll see y'all next time. Bye.